All right, welcome back, guys. Okay, so there's this reel that I found. And of course, I always share them with Delancey because but this one was so good because this is a boy who's 17. He's in foster care. And like when you read the caption a little bit more, that's what it says. He's in foster care. But they just ask him about adoption. And it's so crazy because, as you know, everybody's perspective is so different. But his perspective
Mhm.
is he just wants a family. He's like, I know there's some people out there that want big houses. I just want a family to support me. And it really it made me cry because there are people, biological or not, that don't have support of family.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Even if you're biologically in a family, you may not receive that
Mhm.
support for somebody who's 17, he said he just wanted a family. He wanted love. And he's like, whether they adopt me or not, he just wants a family. And that like broke my heart to all these people. Yes, I'm coming at you right now that are like, reunification or like that kind of stuff. It's not always the best situation. It's just not
Mhm.
okay. Like I know people say reunification first, and I know it's more so in the foster care system, but sometimes it just shouldn't be. It just shouldn't be. Anyway, you watched that video. What are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are, I mean, everything you just said, it just goes back to the whole entire thing of every single situation, like you said, situation is different. Every single kid is different. Every journey is different. And, every person on the planet just wants to feel supported. They want to feel like they have somebody in their corner.
Yes.
And, in the reel, he even says, like, some people want, what did he say? He said, some kids want the houses, some people want the families with money. And he's like,
The
I
big
just want
houses
somebody
and
to be
money.
my
Yeah.
family. I just want somebody to
Yeah.
be my family to support me. That's all anyone genuinely wants, is to feel supported. And like you said, just exactly like you said, sometimes reunification is not the answer. It's not the
Yeah.
solution. Sometimes it's unfortunately just not.
Right.
And I I appreciate the fact that he is very aware
Mhm.
of what he needs to
Yes.
succeed in life.
It's 17 years old. And oh
Mm-hmm.
my
I
hell,
did
there
not
are
know that at
people,
17.
yeah, grown adults that don't know that.
Thank
And
you. That's also true.
just like I don't know. And I get where people like with the reunification, especially in the foster system, it's number one. And I get it
Mm-hmm.
because you truly genuinely as a human and as a child of God, you want somebody to be able to better themselves. I wholeheartedly understand that. You want that
Mm-hmm.
mom, you want that dad to better themselves in order to raise their child, but sometimes it's not always the case. And it breaks my
Mm-hmm.
heart. Like when it comes down to it, like he is looking at what actually matters in life, not the big
Mm-hmm.
house, not all the money that you make in the world, not all the fancy things you can buy if you're making, like
Mm-hmm.
millions of dollars. He wants a family. And like people here, well, I don't even know if it's just here in America, but like everywhere, it's just a rat race to get bigger, better, fancier, shinier. And I'm like, why can't we just hone it back into just family? And I know me and you
Mm-hmm.
both are so grateful for family. Like we
Oh,
really are. We
100%.
are so grateful for our families and friendships that turn into family. You know what I mean? Friendships too. Like
Mm-hmm.
we both know the people in our lives are what matter and who we keep in our lives matters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, and so for a 17-year-old just to be like, all I want is family, like I started bawling because I'm like, people like that's why for me adoption brings so much joy to me when I hear that people want to pursue it, where I know other people are like reunification, they should stay with the birth mom, and it's like oh gosh, that's not
And
always the
it's all
case.
they say too. It's all they say.
Yes.
They just keep repeating themselves over and over and over again. And it's like, it's almost, you know, respectfully, it's almost like talking to a 5-year-old,
Oh, it's true. No, I agree, and I
because
have one.
then you are probably more well versed in this than I am, because it's once they have that, their mind just set. And it's like, please just look at this from just a different perspective for somebody else. And when somebody brings you a different perspective, don't go, you know, your views and your good experiences and the experiences that you've had other people tell you, you're really invalidating us. And that's just, you're really gaslighting us by saying things like that, because that doesn't change my experience. Okay, first off, honey, like whatever you're taking, stop, because absolutely not. Nobody is that mellow
I was just
naturally.
gonna say, first off,
No
I
one.
love your impression because it's 100% spot on with these people.
Is it
Like
not?
No, it
It's
is.
it's always one of two things. It's that one, or it's where they just okay, I'm
Anger.
not gonna do that one because that one is
Anger.
just
Yeah.
that's I'd have to dig deep for that. And
Yeah.
I don't like her, so she needs to stay there. But it's very much like I'm gonna claw your eyes out and yell at you and scream at you and tell you all the things and tell you how like the second they start making personal attacks and using the buzzwords, I'm like,
Yes.
I'm out. I'm
Well,
out.
I think you're right though with like the somberness that you were just doing with your voice, and especially when they like come on something like this with like me and you where you can see
Mm-hmm.
people and hear people. They do it because it grabs people's attention like, oh, why is that person so sad? Well, what are they talking about?
It's performative and it drives
Yes.
me crazy.
It's
It
like
honestly drives me crazy.
I don't understand it. Like I just maybe it's the type of humans me and you are where we're very much more
Man,
peppy.
I don't know.
Like,
I
by the way, that video, I just can't get over you in that video. I love it. I showed my kids. I'm like, yes, let's do Lindsay. And Matt kept saying, she keeps dancing. I'm like, I know, and I love it. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. That was
it
a
was
tangent.
it's I was about to say if you don't know what she's talking about, that's probably kind of like a good thing, but like yeah,
No, it was
it's
so
one of those
sweet.
things of but it's one of those things where that is a perfect example of it. Somebody asked like what like how are you gonna we're not gonna talk about what it was, but how are you
No,
gonna
correct.
approach a particular
Yeah,
moment? You know, it's such a somber thing, and it's like I don't
right.
think that is the reason why they're
Right.
asking for this, you
Right.
know, this particular
To
favor,
happen. Yeah.
because they're not asking for particular people to come in because they want it to be a somber moment. I think they want it to be happy and joyful and
Yes.
let's celebrate what moments we have. Key part right there. Celebrate what moments we have. I was just saying to my sister that lives here yesterday, I don't understand people that are mean to other people on purpose.
Oh, agreed. Oh,
Like
a hundred
blatantly
percent.
mean to other people.
Oh,
Like I don't understand people who lie for attention. I don't and like blatantly lie over stupid stuff. I don't get that. I don't understand people who are nasty, and I don't understand the performative thing of because you know the second they get off their lives or off their what you know they're back to being like, "Hey girl, what's up?"
yeah.
They're not like this
Yeah.
the entire time because if they are, then people would be very concerned
Oh,
that they're like
no, it's so
this
true.
all the time.
No,
It's and just
no,
I appreciate that that 17-year-old gave such a genuine and you can tell by the real
right, right. Well, and it's like you talking about the
genuine
situation
answer.
that you just went through, like with this, the whole situation you just went and helped out with.
Mhm.
Like, who doesn't want happiness? Like, that was my biggest
Right.
takeaway from it is who doesn't
Who
want
doesn't want
happiness?
hmm
Especially if you're going through a really, really, really hard time. Let's
hmm
be real. If you're going through a really hard time and you have somebody that like gives you a hug and they didn't even realize,
hmm
or it just extends a gift. Like, I don't need a gift, but they're like, you know what? This is your favorite muffin. I was thinking of you. Like,
hmm
it's the thought that counts. And so who doesn't want happiness? And for this
hmm
17-year-old to be like, the only thing I really want, and you can tell, is love. That's all he wants. When he's saying he wants a
hmm
family, he just wants to be loved and valued and appreciated because who doesn't? Like, let's be real. Who doesn't? And I
hmm
feel like a lot of these people who are so pissed off at these situations that we're a lot happier about, it's because they're chasing something that they can't find or will never find because they're not willing to look at what they already have, which drives me
Well,
crazy.
and they don't love themselves.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a lot of work. I get that. It's a lot of work. We've both
hmm
been down that road. We're not
Yeah.
saying it's easy. We're just saying you
No.
have to. And to this day, I feel like I have to continually still be like, okay,
Mhm.
okay, okay, you know what I mean? It's not like one
Yes.
and done. It's something you have to work on every freaking
We're
day.
fixed.
Yeah, no.
It's not like
Yeah,
that at
no.
all. Like
Uh-uh.
it's exactly what you just said. It's a lot of work and and you do when you're working on yourself, you do need support. You need that support. You need
Yes.
somebody to have your back and to tell you, you know, when you're feeling low to remind you like, hey, you're
Yeah.
not that person from 5 years ago. You're not that person
Right.
from 2 years ago. You're not
Yeah.
like you are making strides, you're healthier, you're happier, you're you know, you're doing better in whatever aspect you're struggling in. You want people to be in your corner
Right.
and
Right.
it's and genuinely be in your corner.
No, agreed. And like that's why I think I'm in so much awe of the 17-year-old
Mm-hmm. He's got
because
it.
like I can go back where where I was, my lowest of lows is probably right after like I had Mia, and I was super depressed, super judgmental, all the things you asked me. I was so pissed off at and I just look back at that, and I have people that tell me now, like, first off, yes, I'm going to blame postpartum a little bit on that, but it's like, and
Yeah.
I destroyed myself, like with the way I viewed myself and stuff. But like, it's crazy to have people are like, look at you now. And it's like, yeah, but look at Mia. She's 10 years old. It wasn't overnight that I was like, oh, let's make a change. 10 freaking years later, I'm like, I decided to choose myself. Still went through the bumps with my boys with postpartum, but you have to choose yourself unless you want to be like these people who are like, oh yeah, my life sucks, and be so negative about everything. I don't get
Dude,
that.
I don't get it.
That.
And they live there and they're okay living there. Like
Yes.
I don't understand. And you know what? And I think you're going to agree with me on this. That's when you know people don't actually have a relationship, like a genuine relationship with God.
Oh, 100%.
Like a give and take relationship with God. Because
Yes.
you can't have just a God give me this, God give me this, God give me this, God give me this relationship with God. Like you actually have to have a genuine relationship with him. Like you have to, praise him in good and bad. You have to, provide for others as well, because that's what he wants us to do. He wants us to disciple for others and to be there for others, because it's not always about us, but it starts with us and for finding the right people to support us. And I will never be able to get over the fact that kid at 17 years old in the foster care system just says, I don't care if I'm 17 or 18, they can still adopt me. And I just want them to love me and support me.
Yes.
That's all any kid wants.
Oh,
well,
dude,
deep down.
I would, if my kids were older, I'd be like, sir, come here. Because I know you're like, they want you to adopt in the line of, whatever. But like, that's the thing, my kids are younger, but I'd be like, yes, come here. I will support you and love you and adopt you. Just like, because who doesn't want that for any child, adoption or not? You want kids to be loved. You want kids to be supported, because, it just, they're little humans. And so when you see them treated like dirt in their own biological families, whether adopted or not, it just crushes me that they don't have that love and support that everybody yearns for. And for him to be,
absolute worst.
I guarantee you he's got some crap. Like he's got some trauma going on. I guarantee you if he's 17 in the foster system, like 100%. But for him to have that outlook on life, wow, he's a lot more mature, which is sad because he technically shouldn't be crazy mature like that at 17, but he is because of everything he's probably been through. But I look at him, I'm like, wow, a lot of adults could learn from you, just in general.
Agreed. I can think of several off the top of my head.
Same.
Just saying. Well, and what I really liked about everything, and you keep reiterating, you keep pointing it out, and I can't lose focus on it. It's the hope that he has, and the inner joy that he has. He's probably, like you said, he's probably been through a lot.
Yeah.
He's probably been through a lot, and you can tell when somebody is saying something and they're just saying it, they don't really believe it.
Right.
And you can tell when somebody genuinely heartfelt believes it. And he genuinely heartfelt believes that all he needs is love and support from a family. That's it.
Yes.
He doesn't need everything else. He doesn't need to be popular and say, that's my friend, that's my friend, that's my friend.
Right.
He needs people who are 100% not lip service, not saying, oh, I'm there for you, but not actually following through. Because, a lot of people say that. It's okay. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with people that say that. It just, your actions speak louder than your words, and that's okay.
Amen. No, it's true.
But and you don't have to have a huge family. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
you don't have to
100%.
have a huge family. You don't have to have a huge following. You don't have to have a huge group of friends.
Yeah.
You just need a few loyal people that will have your back.
It's 100%. And I like how you brought up the following, because I'm sorry, but following is bullshit, because the people who genuinely love you will show up in your life, not your following, not your 1 million followers. That's like a popularity shit. Like, let's be real. Out of those 1 million followers, you probably have like maybe 10 people that are your family or close friends that are there to 100% support you. Like, let's be real. But I love how you said that, because that's really what makes life. And I loved how you talked about, like, I just got chills when you were talking about, these people don't have God in their life, because like everybody knows the situation I'm about to go through in like 4 freaking days. And I have never been at such a struggle with him right now because it's like, I need you here, but like help calm me down. But why is this so hard? But like all this, but 100%. Like he's been there so much. And especially like my husband's been gone. He's finally home. I can't talk too much because I'm gonna go, but like it's just I can't not fathom not having
Right.
God in my life. Like I just can't. Like for people
Agreed.
who go through shit, it's like, how can you not? How can you not like have like my
Hmm.
husband hasn't been home. And so what have I been doing? Praying every freaking night. Like just help hold me up until he gets home. Just help hold me up
Hmm.
until we get there. Because
Just help you make it. That's
yes.
just it's almost like, and I tell people all the time, it's like sometimes you just need to say like, God, just get me through this hour.
Yes. Yes, it's so true.
Just get me through this hour. And that's okay. And it's oh, and that's, and to me that's okay, that's normal, that's fine, because
Yes.
it's, I would find it concerning if you weren't praying to God for the strength.
It's
I
true.
would find that concerning. If
You're
you're
like, are
like,
you
I've
okay?
got this, and I'd be like, Elena, as much as I love you, I don't know that you've got this by yourself. I think you need to, have a conversation with God.
And
Because that's, I mean, that's what you need. You need
yeah.
that.
Well, and you can see it radiate in the 17-year-old. He doesn't have to come out and say,
Mm-hmm.
like, I believe in God. But when people act the way he acts at 17, you know he's
Mm-hmm.
leaning onto something more. Whether it's God,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a belief of a higher power for him, you know he's clinging onto something to be like, hey, can
Mm-hmm.
we just like because people who believe in Satan, well, we all believe that came out wrong. People who would
I
lean
said, I'd
more
be like,
towards
what?
that, lean more towards that, they're not like how that young man is. They're really not. They're not optimistic of like, I want a family. I want this. It's doom and gloom, like all this, when they're not wanting to reach toward God, like, and it's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, I can't even think of a single, as you were saying that, people who like lean more towards that way, I started thinking like, because I know I've met one actual agnostic, like
Uh-huh.
actual,
Yeah.
and I've met a handful of atheists, I think,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
And they all share the same attribute of um not exactly the most overjoyful people.
Correct.
And it's
Agreed.
very sad.
It
Like,
is
and it's,
very sad.
but like you said, I mean, I feel like at the age of 17, though, you're still figuring it out. You're still figuring a lot of
Yeah.
things out. And as
Oh, it's
mature
true.
as he is, and as incredibly intelligent as he is, both emotionally and clearly, like his emotional intelligence and his actual intelligence are very high for 17.
Yeah.
I find that
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh, agreed.
I mean, he may not know exactly how
Yeah.
he believes, but he believes in something,
Right.
that it's going to work out and it's going to be okay and it's going to be fine.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And
So,
yeah, no, that
mm,
the mama bear in me just wants to grab him and be like, can I take some of that shit off of you? But I also know with foster kids, it's a whole different game. Like it's not
mhm,
like, my children that have been raised since day one with me where I'm like, let me take that from you. Like let's talk this out so I
mhm,
can help release some of that. With foster kids, I know it's different, but really that's like, and I know I've heard that with not a lot, but a couple foster parents that I know is like, you just want to reach in and just be like, let me take everything away, but they're not
mhm,
to that. You have to build that over time and that trust. Even
mhm,
with this young man, I guarantee you, whatever family he goes to, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to,
mhm,
and hopefully he'll go to a family that respects that and wants the best for him. And I
mhm.
imagine they would, but 17, I
I'm hoping the
guarantee you he's
same.
been in and out of crap. You know what I mean? Like that's what
Oh
makes me
yeah, for sure. Well, and it's like you said, building the trust. It's almost like with kids like that, that may not just with the foster system, but any child that I feel like has been through some form of trauma,
yeah.
or I mean, I feel like the word trauma gets used so much. Any form
I
of
agree.
negative life experience that
Yes.
affects them and
Oh,
stays
agreed.
with them or makes them weary of others,
Yeah.
you almost have to like build that trust and wait for them to bring it to you,
Yeah.
instead of like, it's so different than something like the relationships that, like you said, like that's already established
Right. Right. Yeah.
between, like from day one. It's like you have
Right.
to wait for them to go, hey, you know what, I know you've been like making it seem like you can handle this and like you can take
Right.
this on, you can help me talk through this, so I wanted to come talk to you and bring this to you. They're not going to do
Yeah.
that day one. That's going to take a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's like with any new relationship too, though. But obviously with these
Mm-hmm.
kids, it's so different. But can I just tell you that I love that you said, because I feel like trauma is so overused and I'm probably going to piss some people off, but I do. I feel like this day and age, it
Mm-hmm.
is so overused. Anything people are like,
Mm-hmm.
trauma. trauma. And I'm just like, not
Trauma
everything is
and the
like,
word gaslighting.
yeah, oh my gosh.
Not
So,
everything's
yeah.
gaslighting. I hate to say this. Not every, no, I don't hate to say this. People hate to hear
No,
it.
yeah,
Not everything is trauma. Not everything is gaslighting. Those are
yeah,
buzzwords that we are using now to
yeah,
try to validate every single little thing. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some moments where those things happen,
right,
but just because somebody's disagreeing with you and they're telling you why they disagree with you, that doesn't mean they're gaslighting you. They are just
right.
simply explaining a different perspective.
Exactly. Exactly. No, it's so true. Oh, it's so true. Because I'm sorry, but you clearly know, if you truly know what gaslighting is, you know what it is. It's not this,
Mm-hmm.
I think I can make what they're doing to me gaslighting. Oh, then it's not. Like, don't try and flip it to make it fit what you want.
Well, it's a victim mentality,
Yes.
which
Oh,
drives me
100%.
crazy too. This whole
Agreed.
victim, they weren't nice to me, and they weren't this, and they weren't that, and all the da 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 da. Like,
No,
just
I agree.
I don't know. I get, but this is also coming from somebody who has discovered in different scenarios in her life that there is no flight here. There is no flight. Like,
No, no.
there's no flight. Like,
Yeah,
there may be like a second of processing,
right.
but there's no flight. So it's
Yeah,
very, sometimes it's hard for me to wrap my head around that a little
yeah,
bit
yeah,
in certain scenarios, because then I'm like, is that really a response, or are you just playing victim?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what's like,
No.
which one? And it's that's the reason why I like when I meet people, or like I'm getting to know people and I haven't known certain people, like I just observe. I just take everything in, take it all in,
Yeah.
and take it all in. And it's almost like I have a little Rolodex in my brain where I I
No,
document behaviors. I
that's
document verbiage, facial, this, that, like different things. And
yeah.
I have noticed that a lot of those people that do the victim mentality and always like, and they're that like needy,
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of them will use that. Or if they
Oh,
don't use it, they'll use this. I love this. Well, I'm just choosing kindness. Kindness. Letting
I'm
somebody
just
treat you like dirt is not kindness. That is
I'm
weakness.
I'm just choosing kindness.
Mhm.
What? Wait,
I like.
wait.
I wanted to choose kindness, and I'm
Did
like, I've had a couple of different people say stuff like that to me, and it's, you just look at it and go,
wait, what?
and that's like, that's when I look at this 17-year-old. I'm like, his
Yeah.
emotional maturity to recognize what he needs and what he wants in his life is amazing to me. I guarantee you that he wouldn't be like, I'm going to choose kindness and let somebody treat me like crap. Like, I know the people that I want in my life. I know what I want in my life, and I'm going to wait for that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just accept poor behavior
Yes.
just
Yes.
because
Right.
I want people. He
Yeah.
doesn't just want people. He wants the right people.
Yes. I was gonna see if it gave any.
That's what I love about him so
No,
much. He doesn't
no.
just want people. He wants the right ones.
And he wants
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
support. No, I was just gonna see if it
Mm-hmm.
said anything more about him. Oh, and then they did pose this question too, which broke my heart. Can you imagine going through your teen years without a parent, mentorship, and support from caring adults? Like, I can't. Teenagers are hard. Teenagers are some of the hardest. Like, and that's what they put on with his, is just like, just how grateful he is, and like, just so sad. Like, oh,
I mean, and he's in the foster care system.
yeah, I
I
wish,
mean,
yeah.
at least I don't know. I don't know. I'm making assumptions on this one because he didn't say anything negative about he didn't say anything negative about his foster family. So I mean,
Mm-mm.
they must, I mean, I'm assuming they're doing all right by him, but that's
Yeah.
still, I get what he means by he wants to be adopted and like he
Oh,
wants to have
yeah,
a family, like an actual family, not
for
like
sure. A
I
place to
would
stay.
understand it. Yeah. But yes, I would understand if it felt temporary. I don't know how else
Yes.
to say that.
Yeah, no, no, and it's just it's wow. Just wow for that 17-year-old. But that's the thing, is like, whether you're a teenager or not, people want
Mm-hmm.
to feel loved. People want to feel
Mm-hmm.
supported in anything and everything that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I mean, it doesn't have to 24/7, but I mean, like, people do. People do want to just feel loved, and Like I can't even. Like there's another place here too in Utah. It was actually Brady that we brought on. Do you remember those kids they were talking about that they were going to bring in? Oh shoot, is she frozen? Oh no, you're not frozen. You're just holding oh no, maybe a little frozen. Frozen like this. If you're watching, dang it. Give it a second until we get there. She's looking at her nails. There, are you there? Are you there? I can't even. It's still crazy. Okay, it's gonna be two different videos. I'll mush them together, but oh my goodness, like it just completely disappeared. Poof.
Don't let her lie to you. She was like, nah, fam, I'm out.
No, but what I was saying is like, do you remember? I think it was Brady that we had on, the guy that had the foundation that he was looking to adopt some kids from Colombia. Well, they also did this thing for this summer to like host kids from Colombia, and they just showed all these kids coming from Colombia and like the families. Like it was the cutest thing ever. They held signs for these kids, and these kids are probably like 8 and above, like welcome, and they had their names on them, and some of them are sparkly for the girls, and you could just see
I
that
love
like these
that.
kids, you could see the joy. I mean, they did cover the kids' faces, so you couldn't see it, which I'm grateful. But
Right.
you body language, you could see like
Yeah.
their little bodies like spark up and like, oh my gosh. And it's just like again,
I
it
love
goes back
that.
to who doesn't want to feel valued? Who doesn't want, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just because everybody does. And like I said, I wish there's days I wish I did have all the money in the world. So I could just be like, you can
Right.
have this for adoption. You can have this for, you know what I mean? Like, just to help people. Because, I know he talked about the monetary. That's the only reason I'd want all the money in the world. Seriously, is to help people. Pay it forward.
Right.
Not for myself, to pay it freaking forward. Because
Mm.
there's a lot of people in need in this world. And there's a lot that I have that that's the other thing. There's a lot that I have that I know that a lot of people don't have, where I'm like, oh, I don't have this of this person. You always have more than you think than other people, which is crazy. Really do.
Agreed on that one too.
So it's just,
Oh,
it's just adoption can be so crazy to where people are going to always have their opinions. But at the end of the day, and I don't know if I can like say this for you, I feel like I can, but I feel like we both just love it so much because of what it's done for our lives. And we appreciate it. And that's why we support it so much. And we know this is one thing that I feel like the so-called angry or whatever, like they never choose to see the other side. Where with, I feel like with us, we empathize, we acknowledge there's some tough freaking stories out there. We're not taking that away. We're not saying, unfortunately, yeah, there are times in adoption where people are put with really crappy families and dealt the wrong end of the card, and then they meet their birth families and it's still the wrong end of the card, and so then they never feel loved. You know what I mean? Like we're not taking away from that at all. But the thing that drives me crazy, and Delancey always says, is the blanket statements that every single adoptee feels this way. Actually, we all don't. And our heart goes out and we pray for those that do, but it's like, no, don't put us in that category.
Well, it's like, don't put us in that category. And if we try to have a conversation with it, listen to what we're saying. Don't assume you know what we're saying, because we don't assume we know what you're going to say.
Exactly.
I mean, usually after 5 minutes, when we realize that you're miserable, we can kind of figure it out. But I'm just kidding, kind of, maybe not really. But it's like it goes back to, and this is, I say it all the time: listening to understand, not listening to respond.
We've done that as a quote. I need to remember that because I don't know if I've taken that as a quote. I'm gonna go back and look, because if not, that's gonna be the quote for this episode.
Well, I mean, it's super, because it's super important.
It's
the main part of communication is not what we have to say. It's listening to the other person and hearing what they have to say and listening to what they're saying and taking in what they're saying. And I swear it's very difficult for me. And I'm pretty sure I can say this for you too, to talk to a wall.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I can try. I don't mind it. I talk to myself sometimes. I'm okay with that. But if there's actually supposed to be a dialogue, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm trying to tell you another perspective. Melena's trying to tell you another perspective. People who choose joy over misery in general just are trying to tell you another perspective. I've noticed the people who like to live in misery, it's only they're like, you don't understand. No, I do. You're choosing misery.
I love how you said that. We are not trying to change your mind because 100% that's not what we're trying to do. And I love that you
Mm-mm.
said that. We're just trying to say, hey, this is how we feel. We understand that's how you feel, but there's also this
Mm-hmm.
side to it too. And we just
Mm-hmm.
want you to know this is I love that you said that because that's never been this whole reason for this podcast since day one is to
Mm-mm.
go out and change people's minds like, oh, all these people who
Mm-mm.
have crappy stories, they suck butt. Okay, sometimes they do. I'm not going to lie. But like it's out there to be like, hey guys, we just want to help educate and show that there can be joy when people have some really hard things in their life, because
Yeah.
we've had people come on that have had some really hard things in their life, and you've seen these people completely, I mean, even though we only see them for
Mm-hmm.
like an hour, from listening to their story you can see how much they've changed as like a human
Mm-hmm.
over the years because they've
Right.
chose, I don't want to sit in this crap, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, and I love that you said that we're not here to change people. It's 100% true.
Mm-mm.
We're
We're
just
just
here to
trying
say
to different perspective. That's it.
exactly,
Well,
exactly,
and
and
it's
still have an open
it.
heart.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no,
No,
it's.
as I was
I'm
saying.
sorry. I was about to say I totally just cut you off. My apologies. Um, it's like kind of a simplistic answer or example of like not trying to change someone's mind, but looking at it from a different perspective. It was I don't even remember what we were talking about. It was me and two of my coworkers, and we're sitting there. We had lunch together, and we were all just chatting and things. And again, I don't remember what it was about, but I do remember that it was like from the perspective of the one person that I've worked with for a while, he was, picking on me, making fun of me, which is, we have like this brother sister thing that goes on. Like we go back and forth like siblings. Like
Right.
we really do. It's
Yeah.
hysterical. But he was picking on me about something. And it was, oh, I just sent a text message. That's what it was. I was sending a text message to a client, sponsor, whatever, sending a text message. It was a very detailed text message because I wanted to make sure they understood completely what I was saying. And I sent it to him, and it was a super long message. I won't lie about that. It really was. And he goes, okay, JK Rowling. To him, that was a cut down.
Oh
Like
no.
he was thought he was picking on me.
Yeah.
Like to him, like he was making fun of me. And I did not even skip a beat. I went, oh, you think that I write well and I'm really descriptive and I'm really creative? Oh
Love
my God,
it.
thank you. And the third coworker goes, oh my God, it is definitively all about perspective. He goes, and he looked at Buck and he looked at my coworker. I just said his name, whatever. He'll be fine. He looked at my other coworker and goes, you were not kidding. Like it's all about like how she perceives things. And it's like, yeah, like to me, that was a compliment. To you, it was a cut down. To me, it was a compliment. So,
Oh, I would have taken that as a compliment too. I'd have been like, heck
right. Thank
yeah.
you.
Like,
I mean, she is
I'll
an
take that any
excellent
day.
writer.
Oh,
She is an
agreed.
excellent writer. Well, then it's like
Agreed.
the other one goes, well, what about the stuff that's, I was like, we're not talking about all that. Like all of her personal, whatever. I don't care.
No, I feel
Like
like it's even
her
more stand
writing's
up.
on point.
Compare me to her because she's actually
Mm-hmm.
choosing to stand up for what she
Stand
believes
up.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
for what she
And not
believes
go
in.
with the crowd and not go with the
Yes.
crowd. I find that amazing too.
So it's like, yeah, you want to say
It's
that?
so,
I will take that
yeah.
too because she's badass.
Well,
Just how I feel.
it goes back to the thing of that other coworker was like trying to diminish it. And it's like,
Right.
it's not about that.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
making fun of my writing. Don't try to make this into something like, to me, that's the issue that I have with, and I've never thought I'd be old enough to say this, the younger generation.
Yeah.
They try to make it into something that it's not. They
It's
can't
so
look,
true.
they look for a quote unquote deeper meaning. It's kind of like your English professor in high school.
Yes.
Why do you think that the walls were what the walls described in the room in the book were blue? Maybe the author liked blue. I don't know. Maybe they just liked blue.
It's true. It's so true. No. And if you can't
Why
see
was the
Delancey,
doorknob
she's
red?
she's
Oh,
doing this quite a bit. She's doing air
oh
quotes
yeah,
for
a lot of
people who
quotes.
think that like they can't see it because she knows it's not
Fair.
malicious toward her. No, don't be sorry. I'm just saying like when they're like, "Oh, no, it's the relationship they have." Okay? And if it's like a brother-sister relationship, then anybody
Oh yeah,
knows.
no, no, no,
Give
no,
people
no,
crap.
no, no.
Just give
It's
people crap.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say to describe that relationship, I can describe this perfectly because I said it to our boss yesterday on the because he said something during the staff meeting to pick on me, and I was like, and I just I
Nope.
looked at him and I was like, really? And there's only one time that like he probably almost died, and that was when he shushed me and he put
No.
like his, and I was like, I could feel my soul leave my body. And I was like, I need to leave this
No,
room right
sir.
now.
Right?
But anyway, to describe that relationship, I said it perfectly yesterday. And I was like, he picks on me. Yes. We have worked together long enough to where I know he is not doing this out of malice. He's doing
Yeah.
this because it's funny. And like 9 times out of 10, they are funny. Sometimes they fall flat and it is what it is. But 9 times out of 10, they are really hilarious. And it doesn't bother me. And it just kind of makes me giggle. And it's
Yeah.
hilarious. It's gotten to the point now where it's hilarious. But let somebody else say something malicious, like mean malicious, making fun of me,
Right.
I guarantee he would be like,
Yeah.
we're
No.
not doing that. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't really do a lot of confrontation, but I can guarantee he'd be like, yeah, no, that's a little far.
Well, because I feel
Or
like that's
he
like an unspoken bond between the two of you. And you know he
mm-hmm,
always will have your back. You know what I mean? You just know that was
mm-hmm,
those people. And he sounds like he's one of those that like,
yeah,
like he just it's because, he's got such a good relationship with you. And I feel like the people that do
right,
tease you like that, like sibling type that aren't technically your siblings, it's just because they mad love you. Like they do.
right,
Like then they genuinely do. And so I love that. But I
exactly.
like how
Agreed.
your whole thing on that was perspective because that's exactly what it goes back to in this video. There's
Mm-hmm,
people that would see this and it's however you perceive it. And we perceive it as nothing but wow, he is so mature. He just wants nothing but
mm-hmm.
love and support. And there's others out there that are going to be like, oh my gosh, how can we get him back with his family? He needs to be with his family. We need
How
to
can
figure out
we
how to
reunite
fix
him?
his
How
family.
heartbreak.
Yeah.
This is so heartbreaking that he was taken from his family. We don't know
Yes.
the situation. We don't know what was going on. We don't know what
Mm-mm.
happened. We don't know why.
Yes, exactly.
Foster care system is very different than what we did
It's
or
true.
what
No,
we went through. Whatever. You know what I
I
mean?
know what
Like
you mean.
it's very different.
Yes, it is.
But, I mean, I think it was like I said, I had to explain it to somebody the other day. They're like, well, their story, your story is nothing like theirs. Like, could you imagine? I'm like, I wasn't taken by the state.
Yeah. No.
I was placed. This is a
Right.
very different scenario.
100%.
Very different scenario because in that child's eyes, no matter what happens, they may still see their parent as their hero
Yes.
and they don't understand what
100%.
is going on. So
Yes.
I love the fact that he recognizes again emotional maturity, intelligence. He's probably been like I'm hoping he has talked to people or talked to whomever he needs to talk to process things. But just that short little clip just shows how he's processed what he's gone through, how he recognizes what he's gone through, and how he understands I need the right people.
Yeah.
And where I came from, where the situation I was in,
Mhm.
wherever, however you want to state that,
Right.
is not the right place for me
Mhm.
to feel loved and supported. Oh
Yeah.
God. I just
No.
want to I just want to hug him for the fact that
No.
he's so mature.
No, it's so true. And anybody who sees that with nothing but love, when they see that video, they
Mm-hmm.
feel the same way. You know what I mean? I feel like
Mm-hmm.
they feel the same way. I mean, I can't really speak for all of them, but I feel like they feel the same way as us. You just want him to have somebody who will love and take care of him because you can tell
Yes.
that's like what he yearns for.
But
You
like
know?
how you said this earlier though, and it just hit me again. How the one thing I will say that's sad, he's 17 years old and he's already that mature. He had to have seen
Exactly.
some things,
Oh yeah, been
been
through
through some
things.
things to be that mature. Nobody is that mature at
It's so true.
17
Right. To
just
say,
because.
yeah, to say only if they only keep me until I'm 18. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
Like what when that comes out
Mm-hmm.
his mouth? And I think that's by why both me and you just want to hug him through the phone
Mm-hmm.
because you can feel that. And any human that has love or has been loved, they know like, here, let me hug you. Let me hug
Mm-hmm.
you and try and help you, even though we know that wouldn't help. But for us, it'd be like, oh my gosh. And he'd be like, oh my gosh.
Right. Some people are like, oh God. And we're like, all the hugs in the world. Yeah.
That's just because we just know how it can help. But no,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we do that. We should start doing that more. Find reels, talk about them, save them. I'm gonna start doing that, and I'm just gonna start saving them, and then we can talk about them because that one
I
was
like
so
that.
good. That was so good. So,
And
anything else?
you thought we were going to be like, so what do we do? Just talk about it and just go. And it's like, yeah, that's what we've always done. You're like, okay, like
It's
that does
true.
make sense. That does make sense. That is what we've always done.
It is. It's so true. So,
I think it's because we've had more interviews recently.
I know, but I feel like we've just gotten to where in this groove too, where we can just get on and do it. And I love it. Like it's my favorite.
Mhm.
We could probably be like, okay, let's pick one word and I guarantee you we could talk forever on it. You know what I mean? Like easy, which is my favorite.
Yes, I will. You know what? Challenge accepted. We should do that.
Okay, next time I'm gonna put you in charge. Figure out a word,
Ooh, yes.
pick a word, and then we'll do it.
Actually, I have a fun
be
little
fun.
activity for that.
Yay. Okay, good. It won't be for a while because, well, by the
Yeah.
time you guys listen to this, I will have already come back home from Colombia because this episode ain't gonna roll out till September. So until then, I'm not gonna say anything. Delancey will know what everything that happens, but y'all won't know what
Mhm.
happens until I come home.
And I'm not telling y'all. I'm not telling y'all. We're gonna let Milena tell y'all, but I'm gonna be excited
I
to know
told
the
her I'm probably gonna
things.
bug her a lot while I'm gone to help calm my nerves. So
Not bugging at all. I'm more than happy to do that, and I'm excited. I'm so
It's-
excited for you. I'm so
should
excited.
be good. Should be good. I'm
Mhm.
gonna cry lots of tears, but it'll be good. So anyway,
That's totally
okay.
normal.
Anything else you need to? Sorry, would
I
like
was
to
about to
add
say
to
anything else
that.
I need. Yeah, I need to go get a pedicure and get my nails done, but outside of that, and to do laundry. Oh, on the show. No, I'm good.
I love Delancey. Okay, anyway, thanks guys for being here. As always, we honestly, I'm going to reiterate this because I don't feel like I've reiterated it for quite a while. We truly appreciate your support, which
Mhm.
Delancey, I should show you real quick, but we are now officially over 4,000 like listens, views, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, which I'm pretty
What?
damn proud of us. So I'm going to show Delancey real quick before me and her
Stop.
jump off and have our days. But like from the bottom of, I feel like I can speak for Delancey, both of our hearts. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for being
Mhm.
here and supporting us and sharing it because yeah, we're just forever grateful that we get
That
to do
is
this. So
that's pretty incredible. I mean,
yeah,
that's
it is. So I'll
that's
show
it.
you. Okay. Bye guys. We're gonna let you go and I'm gonna show Delancey. Okay. Bye.